If you learn to love the thing you hate, you might find a big gift in it. And for me, I didn't like sales. I hated it. I had tried selling when I was 17 years old, lost the job. 18, I tried again part-time during the summer, lost the job. 19 years old, lost the job. I had had 5 experiences in sales and hated every one of them. All different industries. I just kept moving industries thinking, okay, it'll be different. This will be easy to sell. I hated sales. I hated talking to people. I could speak to 35,000 people, but I can't go into a room and start warming it up. When I was 25, the only job I could get was a sales job. And I said, hey, you got to decide that you're going to get good at this, even if you hate it, because you can't lose another job. It would have been my 6th firing, and I'm like, I cannot lose another job. I went from hating sales to committing to it to becoming now known as like one of the greatest living salespeople on the planet. Like the things that you hate, the things that just grind you out, like you're just bug you, there's probably, if you just stay with it and look, just move to the side a little bit and look behind it, there might be some great gifts.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because I need them for me, because I want to wake up every day and watch a video that puts me in a mindset to believe in myself more and go off and accomplish amazing things and attack the day. And I hope that this video does that for you as well. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 50 rules for success. Enjoy.
What is the mindset you would share with anyone who's 40, 50, or 60 and above who hasn't accomplished what they want yet? What would you say to them based on what you've learned after 50?
You know, I used to tell myself I would never have anything to contribute to the world until I was 50. Because I'm very immature. I've always been described as a rough diamond, like rough around the edges, abrasive, not much of a filter, you know. I am. I mean, I know everything that people say negative about me. For every one thing the public has, I know every one of them. There's nothing anybody ever says about me that surprises me. I'm like, yeah, I know that. Like, you guys don't think I know that? I live with me every day. Like, I did not think I would have anything to contribute worthwhile until I was 50 years old. And that was about the time the economic collapse was, the Great Recession. And I was so lost in that financially. I didn't understand. I was actually being formed right there. I was being matured. I was being prepared for whatever's going on in my life right now. Really, the creation of Grant Cardone has happened in the last 10 or 12 years, not before that. The Grant Cardone people know today is being developed right now. And I would just tell people that are older, like, dude, you're going to have more energy later unless you don't. You're going to have more genius later unless you refuse to. You're going to have the ability to influence more unless you refuse to influence. And age has got nothing to do with the game. Like, nobody really knows my age. Like, I was 50 years old when I was in Pueblo. I told everybody I'm 50 years old. My name's Louis Curtis. I have 2 kids, beautiful 2 kids. I got a wife named Ava. Had made up names for the kids. I had to make up all that story. And we live in LA and I hate it. Because if I told people I was me in Miami, if anybody went and searched it and started doing, you know, images, like people do all that stuff today.
I know.
So I would just tell people, man, I look at people that are 80 years old. I'm like, dude, I got 20 years left. You know how much damage I could do in 20 years? I know guys that are in great shape. Dolly Parton, I mean, she's still hammering. She never did 9 to 5. She made some money on a song called 9 to 5. You know, but she's been doing 5 to 9 for years. So I just think people can get better if they want to, or they can get worse. You're either going to decay or you're going to reboot yourself over and over again.
I have a couple businesses this year will do $150 million. My real estate, we have $2.5 billion worth of real estate that we own that produces cash flow. Almost 10,000 units that $2,200 a month. Do the math on that. Things are very good at our place. And I'm like, why don't you become a real estate agent? Okay, average real estate agent makes what, $25,000 a year or something? $25,000 a year, okay, right? Something like that. It's sad. It's sad. And I want to talk to you about the finances right now, okay? Somebody said about not chasing squirrels. I think she was talking about chasing other opportunities. Is that right? Okay. But also, you guys need to think about not chasing squirrels that don't get your opportunity here. Because they're squirrels. They're gathering nuts. Like, oh, I don't want to put signs up. I'm like, dude, move on. You need people. I need people in my life that are heavily financially motivated. I hear everybody talking about their wives and their kids and oh my God, life is to be lived. You cannot live on this planet without money, folks. Okay? Nowhere can you go and buy something, the yacht, the experience, the weekend. I would look for people today that are financially motivated, that want to make more money and that understand that financial illiteracy is what's hanging people up from their dreams. You got people, hey, what do you want to do? Well, I want my time off. What are you going to do with time off? You ain't got any money. The hell, man? You want another cause of depression? Too much time and too little money. Give me a job, give me a mission, give me something to do, give me possibility, give me a payoff.
What do you look for when you're making a real estate investment? If it's anywhere in the world or in the US, what are the key things that
I
you're
look for
looking
cash flow first.
Cash flow.
Number one, I look for cash flow because cash flow will allow me to keep a piece of property through the cycles. So number one, I want to be paid for something. I do not speculate on real estate. I've never lost a penny investing in real estate. I've been doing this for 35 years. Number one, I want cash flow. Number two, I want a great location that's irreplaceable. I care less about the kitchens and the living rooms and the exterior, the paint, the roof. I care nothing about those. All those things can be changed. The location can never be changed. And the third thing I want to know when I buy a piece of real estate is, who can I sell this to?
Exactly.
Okay, so I should know who I'm exiting with. I should literally know who the next buyer will be before I purchase the property.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
2008, 2009 was tough for you, just like it was for a lot of people. What was the lesson you learned then that prepared you for 2020? That you, when the recession hit, you said, okay, I know exactly what to do based on that pain in 2008.
Yeah, well, I was so disappointed with myself then. Like, I had not put my family in a position to flourish and prosper because of suppression. You know, the tide goes out, you don't have a boat, shame on you.
Right.
And I didn't have a boat, dude. I looked good. I looked good until it happened.
You had a suit, you had the car.
I thought I was good. But I was too small. Small always gets hurt. And that was my big wake-up call in 2008. I didn't have enough assets. I didn't have enough money. My business was too small. My customer base was too small. I was too reliant on too few verticals. This was the creation of 10X. I blame no one in 2008, 9, and 10. I was like, okay, I'm in shit. I got myself in shit. This is not about the mortgage crisis. It's not about the builders. It's not about the strippers that got 17 loans. This is about me. I was in this pile of shit. I was in this fear. I let my family and myself down. Nothing was happening to me. And the most important thing is, I was not in a position to take advantage of it. That's the thing that pissed me off. Mm-hmm. And so I told Elaine, I said, the next time this happens, dude, we're gonna freaking rock. And then COVID had happened. And COVID, I was shooting a TV show and my company would have the best year it's ever had.
Wow.
I wasn't even here. We bought more assets this year than we bought the year before. We raised more money this year than the year before it. You know, when Lehman collapsed in 2008, I had $50 million worth of debt. I told Elaine, I said, the next time the shit hits the fan, I'm gonna have $1 billion worth of debt. I told her, I said, I'm gonna have $500 million worth of debt. We had a $1.2 billion worth of debt when COVID hit.
I made a launch out. I was in a middle-class family, raised by a single mother. We had a roof over our head, 3 meals a day. I had all the love I could do, but God, we had no money. And when you don't have money, you have fear. When you don't have the right vehicle, when you're in a vehicle, you're working real estate, and the most you can make is 3%, and they're going to chop you. You know they're going to chop you. You know the seller's going to cut you up. 3%? You got me $2 million over asking, and you want 6%, and I got to split it with my wife? Right? How many of you get chopped up? You're getting chopped up because you're not professional enough yet. When they're still asking for your fees, they are saying, hey, you are still not the player that deserves a full fee. So you got to change your game now, man, particularly with inventory problems that you have right now. You're going to continue to have this inventory problem, folks. This is not going away. Housing prices over the next decade will not go down. They will go up. They will continue to go up. You're looking in a rearview mirror thinking about I should have bought everything. Because you should have, by the way. But you didn't, because you didn't sell enough to have enough to buy enough. Right? And you were sitting in the market. You were sitting in the market. How many times have you said, this is a good deal? How many of you in the room have said that before? This is a good deal. Why don't you buy it? Oh, because you can't. Because you didn't. You say you didn't do enough to put yourself and your family in a situation where you could. And that's what happened to me in 2010. I had not done enough. I had 3 successful businesses. All 3 of them got cut off because of this mortgage thing.
It took me a long time to understand that I had limiting beliefs, especially when I was doing well. So when I started making $80,000 and $90,000 a year in sales, this is many, many years ago, that's like $270,000 today. In an industry, by the way, where the top producers were 40,000. The limiting beliefs that I had at that time, and then even when I was making $1 million a year, were the ones when I was making money. You know, when you're not making any money, it's clear you got a limiting belief. You know, you're making 30 grand a year and that's all you can make, no matter how good you are, no matter how much you smile, no matter how much service you provide, no matter how early you get there, how late you stay, and you still make 30, you know there's a limiting belief because everything would indicate you should be paid more. When you're making $1 million a year, you start thinking, I don't have any limiting beliefs. So the way to handle that is you need to study people that have created massive amounts. This is exactly what the 10X rule was about. Create massive amounts. In the Millionaire booklet, I talked about earning money, keeping money, and multiplying money. This is what the great salespeople don't do. I know great salespeople that have never figured out how to multiply money. I know salespeople that are so good, I'm like, dude, that guy is probably a better salesperson than me, but he's still broke. He's broke because he made his money, didn't know how to keep it, or he kept it, didn't know how to multiply it. How much you earn is a limiting belief. How you keep it, where you keep it is a limiting belief. If you have money in the bank or equity in your house, or you have a retirement account, you have a limiting belief about money. You're saving for a rainy day. You have equity in your home waiting to pay it off in 30 years. Completely ridiculous. No high performance person needs to worry about paying their house off. You should rent where you live, own stuff that other people pay you for. Okay, and just rent where you live and be mobile. And the third thing is, planning for having cash sit in an account, just sitting dead in an account or in your wall or underneath your bed or in your safe or the vault, wherever it is. Oh, but what about an emergency? If your money's in the bank and the internet goes down, you won't be getting your money out. There's no getting the money. If you got it underneath your bed, what for? Like some of you are storing money in gold. Gold is a limiting money belief. You're like, oh my God, the world's gonna come to an end. Gold will not help you out of the end of the world scenarios. You should make a whole list of all the limiting beliefs that you have around money. Number 1. Number 2, you should most importantly make a list of limiting actions, not limiting beliefs, because your beliefs are turning into actions. How you save money, how you spend money, how you invest money. Diversification is also a limiting belief. Okay, now I know a lot of people recommend diversification, especially the people on Wall Street that benefit from you diversifying the most. They don't want you all eggs in one basket. But if you study the super wealthy, they took stakes. Once they got super rich, then they're like, okay, I own the railroads, the banks, and all the grocery stores.
What was the first thing you ever sold when you were young Grant Cardone?
The young Grant Cardone, the first thing I ever sold was, I think it was clothes. Was it clothes? Yeah, I think I was in a clothing store.
and I earned 6% on a tie.
Okay.
And socks and t-shirts. And at that time, I think a tie cost like, I don't know, maybe $20. So I'd make like 12 cents or something.
Wow.
I was pumped up about it too. I was actually excited. I had minimum wage. Minimum wage back then was like $1.85. And I'd get a little, 70-cent commission.
Great.
Yeah.
What was your
It
first?
wasn't that great.
What was your first real estate investment?
My first real estate investment was a single family home. It was $78,000. I put $3,000 down. I thought it was a genius move. I used $3,000 to buy $78,000. I thought, okay, this is the best thing. I don't even see how this can be legal. And that today would probably here, because it's 20% down now, would probably cost me $15,000, but that's still a good deal. $15,000, I could leverage a $80,000 piece of real estate. Obviously, you can't buy anything here for $80,000. More like $1 million.
Maybe out in the country.
Yeah.
But not in the city. You're looking at millions around.
Yeah, but if you could figure out, if you could just make the transition. The biggest mistake I made in real estate was I didn't buy enough real estate. I should have bought more real estate. I should have bought it more aggressively. I should have paid more. I should have bought in better locations, because I was thinking too small. I was thinking about the $3,000 I had rather than how could I go raise the money.
Yeah.
So look, there's no shortage of money. There's a shortage of creativity and commitment, but there's no shortage of money. So, you got $1 million properties here. How can I go gather some family members and some friends, put 200 grand together and own a piece of real estate that we know is going to be worth more money in the future? Consumer debt is terrible debt, suicide debt.
That's credit card debt.
Lamborghini, buying the Lamborghini on debt. Like if you're going to buy a Lamborghini, lease it for 24 months. If you can't afford the 24 months, you can't afford the Lambo. Debt for clothes, Christmas gifts. I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid to borrow money for this Santa Claus for your kids. I know people are going to hate that message. That's why so many people dislike. They just don't like the truth.
It's stupid to go in debt. If you want to do it and for fun or for whatever, then that's okay. But you're not investing in a potential greater future.
No. Now, if I borrow money for Santa Claus, that's one thing. If I borrow money to invest in a piece of real estate for my kids, I know which one's going to work.
Yeah.
If you just follow the tax write-offs, you'll know the right thing to do. I can't write off Santa. I can write off the real estate.
Right.
So, bad debt is anything that I have to then pay the interest rate on. Good debt is I made an investment and my consumer or my tenant is going to pay my debt.
That's powerful. So you're trying to get more debt.
You probably have more debt with me than you even know. Like because of the investments you've made with me, you have debt. You have good debt.
Uh-huh.
You just don't really know it. Your accountant does though, because we're sending them the K-1 at the end of the year. That's why when we send you a check, you don't pay income on that check.
That's nice.
Very nice. So you look at your return, but whatever I paid you last year, but that is non-taxable income to you.
Because of the debt that we have.
Because of the debt.
Everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
On the asset.
Exactly.
Michelangelo. Okay, Michelangelo. He didn't want to paint the Sistine Chapel, right? Dude, the Pope said, "Yeah, I understand you don't want to, bro. Start painting." Look what he did.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if that's I'm just saying, like, I know artists that do what they love. They can't even feed themselves. They love their wife too, or they love their husband, but dude, you can't even take care of them. You love your parents, but you can't take care of them. So it's just not true. If you just love something, if you only do the things you love, there might not even be any money in it. Like you could love horses, but you should have lived like maybe 1,400 years ago. So falconry, we had a falconry guy out here yesterday teaching us about the birds and the history of it. 2 hours he spent with us. It was freaking unbelievable.
It's a very niche thing, right?
Yeah, 1,400 years ago, everybody had a bird.
Yeah.
That was the Lamborghini of the day. Today, that's probably not. You could love it, but you're not going to feed your family with it. You should be investing in yourself. Some of you got more money in Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank than you do in yourself. Your self-improvement is a no-brainer. Okay, there's no money, nothing no book I've ever read that somebody can take away from me. It's impossible. Give me one piece of data that's good for me. Give me one experience that's positive for me. No one can steal it. You can't tax it, and it cannot be depreciated. See, like I got no money on me right now. How many of you saw Undercover Billionaire? Yeah, you should take a look if those of you didn't see it. You don't need money to make money. Okay, you need people. As long as you're willing to extrovert yourself into the community and meet people. Hey, how you doing? What's up? Who are you? I'm a guy. Like you don't even know how to do it right. You just need to be like, hey, what's up? Everybody try this. What's up? No, what's up? See, people can be like, what's wrong with him? You should practice that this weekend. Every time you go to the restroom or go to the bar, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Who? Hey, what's up? You know, just say hi to people. Just get used to extroverting yourself onto people, because people that you don't know have everything that you want. And it's going to make you feel better about you. You got to go out and earn money, period. Well, you don't really need to earn it. You just need to collect it. You need to get it. When you go around the money game, you got to remember this, okay? There is no shortage of money on planet Earth. There is no shortage of success on planet Earth. There's more money than there is people. There's more money than there are trees. There's more money than there are phones, and there's a lot of phones on this planet. There's more money than there is TV shows. Like, you can't pick anything. And by the way, anytime there's more of something than there is money, they just print more money. Money is printed. You don't need to make it. You need to collect it. You need to collect it. You need to earn it. You need to get it. So when you do your money target, okay, the next thing you're going to connect to is, how do I get this money? And that will always be about the who. How to get money is about people. It is not about some idea. It's not about, I'm going to create an app. I'm going to manufacture something. It's not even about, I'm going to solve a problem, even though you hear that all the time. It's about who can help me solve my how. You understand? Who has my money? Who's got my money? Who's got your money? Who's got your million, 10 million? Who's got your kids' college tuition? Who's got your Christmas gifts? Who's got your Halloween costume, whatever the case? The only asset class that will protect you during hyperinflation, there's a couple of them, but there's only one that cash flows. Gold, certainly. Silver, yes. Other asset classes that appreciate in value will get accelerated. Real estate, however, for the last couple thousand years, without exaggeration, has been the number one by a long shot asset class that will protect you and your family against inflation. This is something you guys really need to worry about. The politicians are talking about inflation being a problem for the upper class. Look, inflation infects like a virus everyone, okay? Inflation, Warren Buffett said inflation was like the invisible tax. If you don't like taxes, you're going to hate inflation. We have not had inflation in this country in probably since the 80s. Like, so that's, over half of my lifetime, we have not had hyperinflation, particularly hyperinflation, where you're starting to get escalated rates of food, water prices, gasoline prices, fuel prices, diesel prices. Look at home prices. Just in Miami, I'm in Miami this morning, going to this event. Beautiful Miami. These prices, in the first 10 months of 2021, these prices went up 19%. That is hyperinflation. That means your mortgage payment will go up almost 20%. That means your down payment will go up if it's a $1 million house or $400,000 house. Let's say it's a $400,000 house, and you had to put $40,000 down just January of last year. That down payment now is $50,000. So you got to get ready for this. Now, how do you protect yourself? One, you got to be aware of what inflation is. Number two, you got to know, if I have money that's going down in value as assets go up, it takes more money now. This bag of money will not basically, this was $100,000 in this bag, and because of the inflation in the last 12 months, this is now, I just basically took this much out of it. You understand? That's how inflation works. The bag was full, and now the bag is less full, okay, because of inflation. It's invisible, but it works in reverse, meaning I just simply need more of a bag. I probably need this bag and another 20% of this bag to buy the same products and services because of the printing of currency and because of inflation. It's not very complicated. And you don't need to figure it out. You just need to know, number one, it's here. Number two, I'm going to do something about it. You need to do something about it. And the thing that you can do about it is not a new thing, by the way, folks. This is not a Bitcoin. This is not BitClout. This is not NFTs, Ethereums. This is nothing. This is not the metaverse. This is nothing to learn. Like, this is simply, I'm going to find an asset that cash flows. A real property that cash flows where I protect my capital. Bigger is not better. I remember a guy named Phil told me this. He went bankrupt, and then he says, I just want to remind you, man, bigger is not better. I had the bowling alley. I had the big house. I had the die. And then he's like, bigger is not better, man. And I believed it. I bought it. And so I stayed small. And later I realized that today I know bigger is definitely better. Okay. And you just got to keep getting bigger. The problem with bigger is you can't get out of the game, and you keep getting bigger and bigger, right? You want to keep getting bigger and bigger, and it keeps bringing on, you can't get out of the game because then you have obligations to other people. Now there's a lot of employees, but bigger is more fun, and it comes with more problems, but it comes with more fun too. I will never give the bank money until I invest in my business. I'm never going to save money at Wells Fargo. Cash is trash, folks. How many were taught you were brought up cash is king? It's garbage. It's pieces of paper. If you saw the stock, if you saw the dollar as a stock in the last 55 years, it's going down like this. The graph is straight down, almost a 90% depreciation value. You would never invest in that stock. But what do you guys do? Work your ass off, trade time for money, take the money and save it so it gets depreciated. What does the bank do as soon as you give it to them? They call me up. Hey, Mr. Cardone, can we lend you some of these people's money? They're hardworking people. They were working their asses off on the weekends, trading time for money, and they came and gave us the money. It's amazing these people do this over and over again. I'm like, please send it over. Once you and your business are doing well, by the way, you'll know. It's not even a question. If you're calling me up like, when should I start investing, Grant? If you're still asking that question, you don't have enough money. It will be so obvious to you. Your business is on banging. It's banging. 12 cylinders just banging, man. Listings coming in. Sales being made. People talking about you. Your freaking numbers are going like this. Everything's like straight up and vertical. Then you should invest in something where you cannot lose your money. The number one thing is you got to make a decision before you even take a step. What is it you want with wealth? Is it to just get by, simply pay the bills? You want to become a millionaire, a decamillionaire, a hectamillionaire, a billionaire? Which one you want to do? I've done every one of those. And I started with one thing, the dream. What was the dream for me? In the very beginning, it was simply, man, I just want to pay my bills. And that was a mistake because I was thinking too small. So however high you set your goals and your targets is going to determine where you get. So most importantly, just set a number. Is it $1 million, 10 million, 100 million, $1 billion? I'm greedy about my own self-improvement.
Yeah.
I'm greedy, and I am very highly interested in my personal self-improvement because I know that's where it all starts. I have to make me the most important thing in my life because other people can't get better if I don't. I would love to improve my communication skills. Clubhouse is like the amount of eloquence, the amount of people there that are able to see other people's viewpoints has been fascinating to me. So number one, I'd like to become a better communicator. Number two, and I think I already am just from being on Clubhouse. Like Clubhouse has been an incredible gift to me.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to be in those rooms with you.
Yeah, and so I've learned a lot about how to talk, how to listen, that I didn't know because of the two-way communication. You don't get that from Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, I don't get it from dropping a video on YouTube. Number two is the collaboration. I want to collaborate with more people. Number three, third thing I want to do, I need to work on my relationships, my personal relationships. Could be a better husband, definitely a better husband. I've been running really fast. I don't push my kids. I'm pushing me. So if my kids can learn from me pushing me, because I don't want anybody pushing me. You're never going to push me as hard as I'll push me. You know, I had a manager when I was 28 years old. He set a quota for me, and I started laughing at him. And he's like, "What are you laughing about?" I'm like, "Dude, how can you set my quota? How can you set a quota for me, dude? You don't even know your potential, much less mine. Because I'm the one that knew what I could be doing. I'm sitting there quietly as a salesperson thinking, I could come in 2 hours early. I got nothing to do. I was single. I was lonely. I had nothing to do. I could have gotten to work 2 hours early. I could have stayed 4 hours later. How can somebody that doesn't know what's going on for me set my potential? You're compromising location because of price. Buy the best assets you can buy, folks. I've been doing this 30 years. I bought, what are we at right now? 10,000 units. I'll be at 12,000 units by the end of the year. I have bought and sold probably 15,000 apartments, $4+ billion worth. I'm sharing with you from my heart. These are the mistakes I made. I bought too small. Number two, I compromised location over a little bit of money. Money is garbage, okay? The money I have in my pocket, I mean, let's face it, it's not worth a lot. It buys goods and services. It'll trade at Amazon. You can't even go to Neiman Marcus and drop the whole wad anymore. They won't take $2,000 in cash. They want to put it on a credit card, probably their credit card. Okay, so you got to keep a lot of cash today. Here's some more cash. What can happen to this cash? Somebody could steal it. It could get burned. It could get lost. It could get misplaced. You can't misplace a great location. A great location where there's Starbucks and Whole Foods and maybe a Chipotle and there's traffic and there's jobs. You can never, ever pay too much for a great location. This is what's most important, and it's not this car. It's this: peace, love, and cash flow. And the more cash flow you get, the more peace you're going to have. I'm just telling you. I'd even tell you that you might even have more love in your life if you get more cash flow.
Number one, I started studying super successful people. Not mediocre successful people. Super successful people. Because prior to this, I had been studying anyone that had any level of success. Now, I grew up in the middle class. How many grew up in the middle class? Good. I grew up where we had bicycles. My mom had a car. We had gasoline in the car. We had food. I was fed 3 meals a day. My dad died when I was 10 years old. My mother was there to take care of me. I came from a really good household. Okay, there was plenty of love. There was a lot of nurturing. There was plenty of food. There was something in the refrigerator at all times. There was some guidance. You understand what I'm saying? So the first thing I did was I started studying successful people, and I discovered something at 25 years old when my life and my business weren't working well. That super successful people was they used a different way to build their business than I was using. I was stuck mostly in a sales cycle from the age of 25 when I started my first company at 29 actually till the age of 45. For those 20 years, I was stuck in a sales cycle. And what I studied about super successful people is they spent a lot of money marketing and advertising, okay? Now, my mom was telling me not to do this. My brothers, my sisters, the people surrounding me, the people I work with, were not spending money on marketing and advertising.
The second thing the wealthy do, the millionaires, the self-made millionaires do, is they play get rich for sure. I don't know if you've ever heard this term. I coined this phrase years ago. I'm not interested in get rich quick. I got some buddies that try to teach those courses. Cringe when I hear them. I don't want to get rich quick. I want to get rich for sure. I've always wanted to get rich for sure. I don't really care how long it takes as long as I'm not old and dead, but I want to know that I'm getting rich for sure. I'm not a shortcut guy. I'm not a gambler. I'm not the guy that's going to put it all on one color. I'm extremely conservative when it comes to investing because I don't want to lose my money. Both my parents came up through a time when my mother was in food lines, and she told me that story so many times, dude. I got scared that one day I'd be in a food line. So I don't want to get rich quick because I know that comes with the pain of busting out. Okay, and that might, by the way, keep me from being one of the wealthiest people in the world because I don't take these big chances.
But if this is you, like you're thinking, yeah, I don't need the 3 week 1000x return. I want to be able to invest my money in something. I get the tax write-offs, I get the benefits, I get the cash flow, and I get the long-term appreciation. And that's what the wealthy do by in masses. They're not taking these crazy chances. Number one biggest mistake in real estate is thinking too small. I know this is hard to think about, but I got a friend right now. He's actually letting me use his plane today to fly to see the World Series first game, Astros versus Atlanta Braves. Let's go Astros, okay? And hope that doesn't turn you off. But this guy that owns this plane, by the way, is a big real estate guy, massive real estate holdings, okay? That allows him to literally buy something this big. This is a Gulfstream 650. What is this, 65 million, $70 million? Yeah. And my plane just got sold. I'm waiting for another plane to come as we take off here, okay? This is gonna be big, man. This is gonna be a big takeoff, okay? Oh my God, I think they already got that first wheel up, okay? And I was on my way to Houston for the World Series. Look at this takeoff. Beautiful, man, beautiful. And I was booked on American Airlines, $500 to fly to Houston, $500 back. And this guy calls up and said, hey, Grant, I don't want you flying on American. Use my plane. I know you're waiting on yours. Just take my bird and we'll figure it out later. So super nice of him. But the point of that story is, one is, who do you know? And number two, how many people do you know in real estate that are successful in real estate? Because people that are successful in real estate, not just for the last decade, but for the last 1,000 years, have been some of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. It's a secure, great investment. So number one biggest mistake, you're looking at one unit, you ought to be looking at 30 units. It is easier to buy 30 units. It's easier to make money on 30 units. It's easier to sell 30 units. It's easier to get a loan on 30 units than it is on one. And I know some of you are going to disagree with me. I got all the haters I need out there. Please don't pile on. But they don't understand that when you buy one unit, you're not getting in the real estate game to buy one unit. If one unit's good, 30's better, 30 times better. If one unit's good and you can raise the rent $200, awesome, man, that's awesome. But what if you could raise the rent 30 times, $200 on 30 units? Just do the math. If you raise the rent 200, because real estate's about making money, it's about protecting your capital, it's about cash flow, it's about tax write-offs. But if you can buy one unit, ultimately it's about making money. And you raise the rent $200, you're making $200 extra a month. If you could do that 30 times, you're making $6,000 a month, $72,000 a year, and that's when the game gets really, really super fun. Successful people are not seeking money, they're seeking freedom. I'm talking about the top of the food chain. You guys should be studying the top of the food chain. You should not be studying your buddies. Study the top of the food chain. They are available for study. Read everything they've done. If I read Warren Buffett, I take Warren from the beginning to the end, and I read everything he's done. I go deep on one guy. I don't study a bunch of people. In the beginning, I'm like, is the dude about money? No, the guy was about freedom. What is freedom? Freedom, man. I get to do what I want, when I want, as long as I want. How I want. I get to say what I want to whoever I want, and I get to cut a customer out of my face if I want to. How many of you like to get rid of some of your customers? Like, get out of my office. Leave my office. I don't want to do business with you. Okay? I want to do business on my terms, not your terms, and not the marketplace's terms. And I don't want a competitor pushing on me. I want to have enough flow coming in that I get to say, I don't want this business anymore. I want this business. Everybody with me? Okay, that's freedom. Financial freedom is not about money. The wealthy get wealthy not saving money. They invest their money. You're never going to create wealth, ever. It is impossible to create wealth because you have a profession or because you're great at your job or career. The only way to create true wealth is through investing. It is not through learning. It is not through watching videos. It is not by going to conferences. The number one, best, most successful way, probably the only way to ever create real wealth beyond millions of dollars, by the way, is quit saving. Quit saving your money. This is what my parents did. They saved money. They didn't invest their money correctly. They didn't take money and leverage it into real investments because they were terrified of losing their money. I understand that. But there are asset classes out there where you could never lose your money. Many of you are buying assets without cash flow. Flippers, wholesalers, developers. Everything I've ever bought was developed by someone else. I've never flipped and I've never wholesaled. Why? Because I want to own that property, that great location. And what can make sure I own it, keep it, even through down cycles? Cash flow. You got to get the cash flow, okay? I don't care if it's 2%, 3%, or 4%, 5%, 6%. I'd rather have a 3% cash flow on a great location than a 6% cash flow on an average location.
What's the number one thing people should do if they want to double their income? So moving on to the financial.
You should
sales.
Get good at something.
Get good at something. Yeah.
You know, get good at something. Now, you got to get good at something. And you got to ask yourself if you're in the right vehicle. If you're an engineer,
you always say that. Yeah, the vehicle, right?
Yeah, the vehicle. Yeah. So let's say you're a photographer.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know a guy right now. He's a photographer, and he's like, I want to make more money. Okay, well, good. So he's going to have to. He can only get so good as a photographer.
Like, there's a ceiling on the income, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, you're going to have to go shoot a movie, dude. Like, everybody's got a ceiling where you finally get to a price and they're like, okay, I'm done. Nobody's going to buy from you.
Yeah. Okay.
So now what are you going to do to get your deal? You got to go sell something. You're going to have to sell some product or some service. If you don't like to sell it, then you need to promote it so people buy it from you. So they just come buy it from you, okay? So if you don't like sales, then you need to spend a bunch of money promoting so that people, oh, thank you, champ, thank you. You need to promote it. Man, this looks good. see, she brought me that. Yeah. She brought me that. So how do you get somebody to bring you something, right? Well, you either get up and spend your own time to go get it, or you get people around you, little people around you that you pay $10. Make it $5. She just earned some money. They know how to earn money with me, right? They earn money. Look, I didn't know what else to do. There was no social media when I was 30 years old. So today, if it's social media, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I need to find if I want to make sales. Is income? I want income. I want income. I need money, right? A 18-year-old kid today says, I want to know how to make passive income. He wants to stay home and earn money. I'm like, dude, you're skipping a step. You got to earn money first. Number one, you got to earn money. You got to earn it or connect with it. So I got to either get you to give me money. I don't know how many times you do that. Before you be like, okay, what do I get?
Okay.
Then number two, I need to keep that money. Figure out, okay, how do I get that money to do something now?
Okay.
Now, a lot of people know number one, and a handful of people know how to do number two. They get the money, but then they don't know what to do with the money. You got to get the money to have babies. Big tip for the wealthy, the not so secret, they invest in assets that give them massive tax benefits using debt. Okay, number 5 is the game changer. It is the Mac Daddy wealth builder that I did not learn until I was about 50 years old. You can use debt to give you tax benefits and then leverage that into an asset class in your backyard where you live without creating anything to create tremendous amounts of value for yourself, your family, and your household. The wealthy, the super wealthy, know that they have to use good debt to create massive tax benefits. So they actually get 100% of the money out of their assets without paying any taxes. This is a super tax loophole that the wealthy have been using for years. If you want to grow your business, learn to follow up. Follow up. Follow up way more than you ever imagined follow up. I'm talking 12 follow-up calls or 25 follow-up calls. I'm talking calling somebody every month or even twice a month. Long after they weren't interested, you would keep following up. Do you have a good product? Yes. Do you have a product people need? Yes. Do you have a service people need? Yes. Do you have a good company? Yes. Then learn to follow up. Nobody taught you guys how to follow up. In fact, you were taught not to. What were you taught? Don't bother people. You don't want to bother anybody. Don't pester people, right or wrong. Okay? You don't want to nag people. You don't want to beg for the business. But what happens in most cases, people just don't, they look like they don't care because they don't follow it. Yo, we're rolling out of Cabo with family and friends.
We got Elena, the 2 girls growing up. We got Jared and Sandy back there. This is our last flight on our Gulfstream 550. Man, that plane has been so good to us. Wow. Sabrina, we did how many, what did we do? 20 countries, 19 countries?
Yeah.
In this bird back here. So good to us. It's getting ready to go home. It's going to go home and it's going to a new owner. Who knows what we get next time? What do y'all think I should hook up with? Because we need something, you know, because we're about to do a lot of traveling. London, we're coming to you. All UK, all the places we haven't been to yet, we're coming to you. Middle East, we are coming to you. Jared has got me on a schedule. It's so strict, okay? We haven't done anything in Egypt, all of South America. Oh my God. Say, dude, Elena's been practicing her Spanish 450 days. She's been on it already. Doing your Duolingo, right, Elena?
412 days.
412 days, see? And all she knows is that one. See. So, yeah, so we're looking forward to coming to see you. Australia, we're coming back. Thailand, we're coming. Malaysia, we're coming back. Where else we coming? Singapore. Oh, for sure, Singapore.
India, we coming.
India! We have not been to India yet. We got to come to India.
Russia?
So look, we're going to probably have to get something a little bigger than the Beast, okay? I actually never called it the Beast because I didn't feel good about calling it the Beast because I knew. Whoa, what is that?
That's a 6.
That's a Beast right there.
That's 8 right there.
That's 650 right there, right?
Yeah.
Man, maybe one day I can own a 650. I think that's got Italian. That's an Italian blend. Who's XA? No, that must be Mexico.
Yeah.
So, God, these things are beautiful. If you've ever wondered, because I know I did, if you've ever wondered how do people, what do they do to fly these planes? Look at this. I'm right underneath one of these beasts right now. This is I think this is a 450 right here. Gulfstream 450. Look at that. You know, a family owns that plane and they fly themselves probably from LA or San Francisco down to Mexico in Cabo. And then, you know, family owns that plane too. If you're 50 years old and you're hearing this message right now and you're like, man, how could I ever do that? I started my game when I was 51 years old. Literally. I was 51 years old. I had flown 3 million miles on American and Delta and United and Continental. I flew them all, and Southwest and Northwest. I flew them all. Did whatever I had to do. Most of the time I was flying coach. In order and hoping for an upgrade. Sometimes I was just flying on award miles. I was doing everything I could, busting my ass, saving my money, parking my dough. I was flying, I don't know, probably 125,000 miles a year. I barely saw Elena. And Elena and I sat down one morning. We didn't have any kids yet. Boy, my right arm's starting to get tired. Holding this. And we said, hey, we got to change the game, man. I'm going to destroy my life, my health. I was 51 years old, flying commercial everywhere. And literally, we got on the same page, came up with a plan. Here we are today.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. If you're over 50 years old and you're hearing this message right now and you're not where you want to be, maybe you're married. Maybe your marriage is paying a price right now. You're busting your ass, man. And you're like, how do I ever get ahead? You see these people on these planes over here? Thank you. See these people on these planes? You're like, how do they do that? Look, you got to figure out, one, are you committed? Because a lot of you are just going to give up. You're going to be like I used to do that. You'd be like this. It's impossible to ever have this. Impossible. So number one, you got to be like, hey, it is possible. If I can do it, you can do it. If they can do it, look, it's possible. So first you got to say, hey, it's possible for me if it's possible for them.
How did you get started? Like, what was your first company? What did it look like? How did all that happen?
My first company was working for somebody else, you know, like until, it wasn't until I figured out how to make somebody else rich that I could be rich. Like, I hear a lot of guys saying, I don't want to work for somebody else. I don't want to keep making other people. When I became successful in another company
and then left that company and went and worked for another company and made them super successful, to the point to where these companies were literally dependent upon me. Like that's the thing, that's the muscle and the grit, the persistence and fortitude of like, you know what, my ego wasn't like, I need my name on it. But my ego was strong enough to say, I want to be the best in the company. Like, I want to make this company dependent upon me. The first real job I had was my 6th job. I was fired from my first 5. Fired from my 6th job 6 times, but wouldn't leave the last one. I just would not leave. So literally, like, I wreck stuff. I have a terrible driving record, and I was in the car business. And I'd wreck their cars, and they'd fire me. And I'd say, okay. And I had a bunch of other problems as well, and then before I would leave, I would go sell something, and then they would keep me on. Selling something was always forgiveness. So when I finally left that company, they went under. Like, my production was so high that one person leaving, the entire company failed. Went to my next job, which was speaking, consulting, using my sales philosophies and gifts, if you will, and we would go around companies and teach them. And I worked for him for 20 months. I was like the top guy in his company. Now, the reason I'm saying that is that was a job for me, and that was a business. I treated my little department like this is my company within a company. And I wanted to make that company as strong as possible, so that when I finally went out on my own, which I was forced to go out on my own. I didn't want to go out on my own. I went out on my own just because there was just no opportunity left. And there was no way for me to score where I was, which I still remember today. It's important to get good people to keep them, that like you got to give them some other pond to swim in. And so when I started my first company, I guess I was 29, that was a company where I was cold calling on businesses around the US and Canada.
3, the third thing the super successful do is they master income creation. I was asked this morning, I left my home at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was on a plane at 5, okay? And a guy asked me, he's like, dude, why are you still cranking so hard? Because I don't have any money. I'm always broke. I reinvest all the money. Every time I get any money sitting in accounts, I take it and invest it in hard assets. Illiquid assets. Illiquid so that I cannot get that money. That's what keeps me motivated, folks. I get money, liquid money. If it's not used, what? It's useless. Take it and I buy a hard asset that produces income. I'm broke, I gotta go hustle again.
I want to share with you the not so secret way that thousands, tens of thousands, actually millions of people are becoming millionaires in America today. They invest in assets that appreciate over time. They invest in assets, in IPs that they control, royalties they control, things that they know over time will increase in value, that there's a 99.9% chance that they're going to increase in value, and that's what they invest in. They don't make little bets, they make big bets, and they invest in things that they know will go up in value over time. That could be a sports team. Chances you buying a sports team are next to none. Same for me. So you got to start thinking about, okay, what assets can I do that with? Okay. Oh, wow. I'm going to go create the next big thing. I'm going to create an app, and hundreds of millions of people are going to download my app. Okay. Chances of you doing that are, your chances are bigger than mine because I'm not even trying. There are assets out there today that are in your backyard. They're in your neighborhood. You don't have to buy a sports team. You don't need to be connected. You don't have to know how to write code or do tech. It's sitting there waiting for you right now. And it's one of the ways that I created the wealth that I have in my life. We have 11 businesses today. And then we have a real estate portfolio of 12,000 units, going to 40,000 units, and about $4 billion worth of real estate. Now, the 11 businesses that I own, man, they were so hard to create them, start them, manage them, guide them, hire people for them, advertise, market, get them known.
like to organize it. We have hundreds and hundreds of employees in these companies, about 700 employees across these companies, most of which are startups. They're brand new. They don't have a lot of employees. A lot of risk, a lot of downside, a lot of problems, a lot of headaches, a lot of people. The real estate, almost no headaches. Compared to the value of the portfolio, very few people work at it. It appreciates in value over long periods of time. And that's what wealthy people do. They invest in assets. Real estate is one of the things they love. The first 3 years I was in business, I made $30,000 a year.
3 years, first 3 years.
The last year I left somebody, I was making 150, 160 grand a year. The first maybe 27 months that I was in business, I made less than 30,000 a year. I went backwards. But the problem was I do what a lot of entrepreneurs do. The mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is, number one, they never look up the definition entrepreneur. An entrepreneur means someone who organizes a business or businesses and invests money, takes greater than normal risk with money in order to expand or organize those businesses. I wasn't spending money on my business. Like, all I was doing was knocking on doors. It was just pure effort. I wasn't spending money. Like, I wouldn't spend real money until I was 50 years old. About 10 years ago, when a guy said, "Bro, you're not a business." And I said, "What?" And I could feel this. Yeah, I was a hustler, I was a grinder, but I wasn't a business. And I could feel it, you know. Yeah, I was a consultant. I was making some money, like in my 30s and 40s. I made a lot of money. What other people would call a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I was not a business. You know what I mean? I was just.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I was just hustling. Just because you're hustling. Everything was a transaction.
Yeah.
Everything was a transaction to get money, pay the taxes, have a little bit of money left over. Everything was a transaction.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, "Well, you know, you're not a business." And I was like, "I know, man, I know. Don't tell anybody. I know that, okay?" Like, I knew it. And because to me, a business is, I can walk away from it, it'll still operate. I was a guy. I was no different than when I was 30, just pounding doors. And which was good. And I think a lot of people you don't need to skip that spot either. Because once I put the two together, okay, I can pound the door. I can learn e-commerce. I can be a one product sale. I could sell to companies. Like today, we'll sell a product to a company for 80 grand on a 3 to 5 year contract, 80 grand a year. Yeah, wow. And I'll switch immediately and sell an $8 product online, or I'll give something away for free, to speaking to 4,000 people today in hopes that I can meet, maybe 40 of them that I can have a partnership and a collaboration with in the future. They invest in assets of cash flow. Give me a drip. Let me rip. Give me a little drip. Give me something every month. Give me something every quarter. Give me something to reward me. 3%, 4%, 10%. Give me something to reward me to have a 10x big bang at the end of the appreciation of the asset. Warren Buffett says 3 rules. Don't lose money. 2, remember number 1, don't lose money. And number 3, only invest in things that cash flow. Warren Buffett, he's a major player at Apple now. And it took him forever to get there. And the reason he finally invested in Apple was because he finally understood the cash flow of the iTunes account. It was crazy. That's when he made this big move. Every company he's ever invested in had positive cash flow. And cash flow enough that they could distribute cash flow. We got to look at your vehicle. What vehicle are you in right now? Do you have any recurring revenue? Do you have any opportunities outside of what's going on right now? What are your assets and liabilities? If you're over 50 years old, you're just trying to figure out, man, what am I going to do? Because, look, time is critical now. You don't have a lot of time. You know that better than I do. You got to figure this game out, okay? If you're committed, number 1. Number 2, we got to look at the vehicle you're in. We got to look at, do you have any other additional income or recurring income or repetitive income, passive income, opportunities? There's so many that exist in the world today. If you don't understand YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, all these things, like I didn't understand any of this when I was 51 years old. I had no idea how to market myself. I'd never branded myself. I'd never done video like this before. I didn't know if I did a video, what I was supposed to do the video on. I did not have a product lineup. I was in one tiny vertical. I'd heard somebody say once, the riches are in the niches, and my niche was so tight, I wasn't right. I was wrong, because I was dependent upon this many people. I had to serve them, satisfy them, kneel down to them, and kiss the ring every day, and I got tired. If you're tired of kneeling down, kissing the ring, begging, putting up with bullshit from customers, and you're 50 years old, you're over 50 years old, and you're like, okay, I got to get recurring revenue. I got to get something that's indestructible. I got to figure out how to do this without spending a bunch of money. I can't disrupt my main flow right now. You got a job right now. You can't walk away from it. I get it. But you're running out of time. Okay, you got what? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? You want to start enjoying some of the money, some of the production? It is beyond my imagination. I imagine you can't even imagine flying private. It's beyond my imagination that I'm getting rid of a plane and picking up another one. So if I can do this, I'm telling you guys, you can do this. Every time you see a private plane or a yacht or somebody living the life, just remember, if they can do it, you can do it. As long as you're committed to, if you find the right vehicle, just because you work hard does not mean you'll get it. You have to find the right vehicle. If you're in the wrong vehicle, you're in the wrong vehicle. Doesn't mean you need to quit your job right now. It does mean we need to figure out what the right vehicle is. And because of the internet, because of the access to the internet today, anybody, regardless of where you live, can figure out how to do this. 80, maybe 90%, maybe 95%, without being a doomsdayer. 95% of the people in the United States of America, the wealthiest country on the planet, are suffering. No money, no freedom, no choices, can't leave their job, tied down. And most of those 95%, most of them, some of them are earning big wages, 250 grand, 80 grand, 90 grand. Maybe you're in this group, 60 grand, 58,000, 78,000, 112,000, whatever number you're earning. If you look at the money left over at the end of the year, end of the month, or end of the week, there's not a lot of money left over. 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 55% of Americans have no money in a savings account, okay? 90% of all the wealth in this country is owned by about less than 10% of all the people in this country. Listen to what I just said. You and I have been doing something wrong. We are using information that is outdated and no longer efficient for the kind of economy we're in today. Got all kind of disruption going on. You got to start thinking different about saving money, investing money, real estate, crypto, and how you do you go over many investments, or do you go hard on one? We need to look at what you have been taught about money that may be holding you back, that may not be the thing you need to be doing any longer. I'm here in Las Vegas right now. You know, when you walk in these casinos, almost everybody knows how to play blackjack. Almost everybody knows how to play the little games here. They even have books how to play the games. The guy gets a 6, he's got a 16, and the dealer's got a 6. He's like, oh, I'm not going to hit that card. And he sits there and he gets beat all night because he's playing by the book. I figured out 2 things. I figured out, excuse the language, I've been doing everything wrong and thought it was right. I was doing exactly what the book said. Save your money, invest in mutual funds, plan for retirement, buy some life insurance. What was the other one? Work hard. Oh yeah, you got to work hard. And you do, by the way. That's not a myth. But I know a lot of people that are working hard that end up with nothing. Like my parents. My dad worked hard. He died at 52 years old. Heart blew up in his chest from stress and overwork. Probably for not taking care of himself enough, because he was out there grinding, just pounding every day because he wanted to do one thing, take care of his family. Probably the same thing you want to do. Then my mom was left to raise 5 kids and only had a little bucket of money sitting over there in a savings account. So she's clipping coupons, terrified to spend anything, scared if the plumbing breaks, scared if the roofer comes over, scared, terrified every day to spend 1 penny. Because she knew she was depleting the account that would take care of the family. Look, if you're experiencing any of these same things today, don't feel bad about yourself. Like you're not like, oh, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you is you have the wrong information. You got the wrong information. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're stupid. It's because you have the wrong data. You need to unlearn some shit. You need to unlearn some stuff that mom and daddy and your teacher told you. Your mentor, your last guy, whoever you're listening to, If what you have now hadn't got you where you want to go, what you have now in your head might be keeping you from where you want to go. Math and money.
Math and money.
Math and money. How old are you?
I'll be 9 in 3 days.
9 in 3 days. Okay,
Yeah.
math and money. So I'm going to give you adding, subtracting. You know how to do both of those, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to do multiplying.
Oh God.
Okay. Now, which of these three are the most important?
I think
When it comes to money,
when it comes to money,
let me show you. 1 plus 1,
1 plus 1.
or 2 plus 1 equals what?
3.
Okay, good. 2 minus 1 equals
1.
1. So we got 3, 1. 2 times 3 equals what?
Wait, that's simple.
2 times
6.
3. Yes. Okay, so which one of these is the most powerful when it comes to
I
money?
think multiply.
Yes. Why would that be?
Because if you know how to multiply, right? And
Yeah.
you have $1, right?
Yeah.
And you're able to multiply that into $2, and you can multiply that $2 into 80, 100, million, thousand.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
That's
whoa. We
the
can
number
get there
you need
faster,
to get.
right? Okay, so watch. I'm gonna give you a little drill here
Okay.
to show you the power of multiplying. Add,
Add,
subtract,
subtract,
multiply.
Multiply.
Okay, we're gonna use the same numbers every time. 2 plus 2,
2 plus 2, 4.
2 minus 2.
2 minus 2, 1. Oh wait, that's 0.
Okay, that's 4.
0.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah, and then
2 minus 2 is 0. And 2 times 2.
2 times 2. It's 4.
Let's do this. We're gonna do another. Because we love 10s, right? Okay, we're gonna take the number 10, because I have it on my hat. 10x. Hey.
Wait, no, now you have the number 10 on your hat.
Okay, 10. And we're gonna do 10 plus 10.
Plus
10 minus 10.
10. 0.
And 10 times 10.
100.
So watch. 10 plus 10 is how much?
10 plus 10 is 20.
20. 10 minus 10?
0.
10 times 10.
100.
Now we're using the same numbers, but notice the multiplier, the number gets bigger a lot faster than the other two.
Yeah.
So what'd you learn from this exercise?
That we need to, that if you multiply,
Subtracting doesn't help you.
subtract, no, you gotta just gonna.
Okay, no subtracting.
No reason to learn this in school, kids. I protest.
You know when people subtract stuff, what they're doing is they're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna spend this, I'm gonna budget my money. They're using subtracting to determine how much money they can spend.
If you add, it's obviously going to be less than multiplying, because multiplying, you're timesing the number, so then it's obviously more, because like 10 plus 2 is going to be, that's
12.
12, but 10 times
2.
10 times 2 is going to be 20, so then
So
it's
multiplying
always gonna be
happens
more.
faster.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
I
Okay.
know.
So when it comes to money, you want to add, subtract, or multiply.
You want to multiply mainly, and then use the other two for pesky things,
Pesky.
like stuff that's not needed.
You're awesome, buddy. Okay. So now what I have to do is I got to figure out how to go multiply my friends and my money, so I can get Beyonce to come to the 10X
Okay,
book.
yes. Friends.
You can multiply friends. So rather than adding one friend, you could add 10.
Multiply. We're just gonna write it down.
Multiply my friends, multiply my money. Good. Multiply my influence. You know how to spell influence?
No, I'm just gonna write it down.
INFLUENCE.
Influence.
Multiply my power.
Power. Just
And help more people.
Help.
Because if I can, maybe I can help Beyonce or Dolly Parton or who else? Adriana. Or,
Her name is Ariana Grande.
Ariana. Sorry,
Just
Ariana.
remember her by the ponytail.
Okay, maybe Rhiney Heine can get Ariana. You like Rhiney Heine? Okay. All right. So, okay, if I can't get Beyonce and I can't get Adele and I can't get,
I think Jimmy Fallon will do it.
I can't get Ariana.
Ariana.
Okay. And I can't get, who else did you want? Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton and Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. Who else?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
This is the list.
I can get Kevin.
You can get Kevin. I believe in Kevin.
I already had Kevin.
I know. I want Kevin again.
You want Kevin again? You love Kevin, huh?
Kevin's cool.
Who else?
He's almost my height.
Who else?
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Okay, who else you want? What about The Rock?
Yes, The Rock.
Okay, what about...
Jimmy Fallon can bring Ariana Grande.
Okay.
I either want Beyonce or Adele.
Okay.
Either
One or the
one.
other, not both of them together.
I mean, yeah, you can choose. I mean, I'll
Okay.
be perfectly happy with all of them, but.
Okay.
And then Ariana. Wait, I already said Ariana.
Yeah.
And then
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, and I'll be happy.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to invite one of those people or more.
Okay.
But
and then Kevin Hart has to be.
But I need some, huh?
And then Kevin Hart.
And Kevin Hart. You want
And
Kevin Hart again?
yes.
Already had Shorty.
But look, now we're best friends. Zac Efron. No,
You know who
I don't
Joe
care
Rogan
who
is?
that is. I want Zac Efron.
Oh, Zach? You want Zach
Zac.
Efron? Okay. All right. Well, you did your math class, so
Yeah,
I'm
now
going
I
to see
get
what I
Zac
can do to
Efron.
get one or two of these people. One thing that I've done since I was 25 years old is learn how to set goals, put them in place, and then manifest them over periods of time in my lifetime. If you go back and listen to the rules of success that I shot that show in, I think I was 35 years old, 36 years old in La Jolla, California. I was living on the ocean then. And you can go back to that. You can look in the 10X rule. When I wrote the 10X rule, I shared a bunch of goals. That was 11 years ago. You can see over the last 25 years, every single goal that I have set for myself, up to this point anyway, I have been able to achieve. My wife, my two beautiful kids, the condition that my body's in today, my finances, the real estate, all of it started with goals. All of it started with the idea that was in my mind and had not yet been manifested in reality. I heard a saying once, Barbara Streisand said that there was not one thing in her career that she had accomplished. Tips on writing goals. Number one, write them down every day. In fact, what I do is I write mine down on a blank sheet of paper. I write them down in the AM, I write them down in the PM, and I also write them down anytime I'm disappointed or discouraged. Okay, so I could actually write my goals down more than twice a day. Always in the AM, always in the PM. First thing I do in the morning, first thing I did today was I wrote my goals down. Second thing, what I'll do before I go to sleep tonight is write my goals down. It could be on the same legal pad. Second thing, I write them down in present tense, in PT. Present tense or even past tense or past, okay? So I may write it as though I have accomplished it. What you don't want to do is write it down, one day I will love my job. Okay, you want to write down, I love my job. Even if you hate your job right now, just like flip it, I love my job. Okay, I love my wife and kids. I didn't have a wife and kids. My kids love me. I didn't have any children. Okay, I wrote it down as though it was happening. Okay, write your goals down whether or not you're achieving them or not. It doesn't matter that you're achieving them. Okay, this is going to sound a bit like you're deceiving yourself, which is what you're doing. You're writing down the future as though it's happening today and or has happened. Number 4, strongly suggest that you go 10 times bigger on your goals than you think what is accomplishable. Okay, I say go big or go bigger, baby. Okay, go big or go bigger. There is nothing wrong with big think. It doesn't cost anything. Okay, you can't get taxed for thinking big. And it's not just, okay, I'm going to dream big and big things are going to happen, okay? I am going to write down, hey, I'm trying to achieve X in my life. I'm trying to go from here to 10 times bigger than I can think, okay? During the day, I'm going to take the actions that support that when I write this down every day. Number 5, do not be disappointed in not achieving, just keep writing. Just because you're not hitting it, just keep writing it. I wrote down off and on from time to time, I wrote down for years. My dad worked his ass off, and when he died, he did good. My mom had to sell everything. And so I'm like, okay, that didn't work. But he was considered successful, the middle class successful, briefcase, good job, professional, people respected him, saved his money, had life insurance, house was paid for, everything by the book. And she was unloading stuff the next week because she was terrified. And so from the age of 10 to like 16, 17 years old, we were just scared, dude. Clipping coupons, buying everything on sale, single mother. Everywhere she goes, she knows they're going to rip her off. The plumber, the roofer, the car dealer, everybody's going to rip her off.
Right.
So she thought. You save your money, save for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, a penny saved is
Right, a penny earned. It's not.
It's a penny.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a penny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a penny, dude.
Yes.
You won't even pick a penny up today.
You ain't with a penny.
Dude. You know, 50 cent?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's 50 pennies.
Yeah.
The third thing I would say about wealthy people is different people have different ways they invest, but they tend to be more focused on the long-term appreciation of an asset rather than give me money this second. And I think they're not stuck in this get rich quick thing.
It's a delayed gratification.
Yeah, they're more like, I'd rather have wealth tomorrow than rich today. And they do have a distinction between the rich and the wealthy. The super wealthy are looking to create wealth beyond their own means and needs. Like, they're not thinking about their kids, their boat, their plane. I know people think that, but that's not actually true. They're actually thinking about, how do I create wealth for a lot of people? Amazon's got 1 million employees.
Yeah.
Now, most of them only earn minimum wage, but there's some people at the upper level of Amazon that are making fortunes. Success is vital. Maybe you've heard me say this before. It's worth writing down again. Success is your duty. It is your obligation and your responsibility. Success to me is as vital to my survival as oxygen, food, and water. Shelter. I got to have shelter. I got to have water. I have to have oxygen. I need food, okay? I need love in my life, okay? I need people. I need human interaction, and I also need to win. If you don't have success in your life, you will lose discipline, you will lose activity, you will lose contacts, and you will not be consistent. You will not have them. This is the vital part of success. This is why I'm pounding to you. The only trick in this universe, if there is a trick at all, is you must be successful. Success is not an option. It is your duty. It is your obligation. It is your responsibility. 2022, if it's going to be good for you and your family, if it's going to be great for you and your family, it is because you demand success this year. And that means you demand success in your relationships, in your finances, and in your money. And in your business.
What should you do with your money?
Well, like saving money in a bank account is ridiculous. The only people that benefit is the bank.
So wait, what do you do with the money then?
You use money. First thing people should invest in is themselves. Like,
That's the thing is people hear that and they go, what does that mean though? What do I do with the money?
Go to workshops, go to seminars, go to whatever you're good at, whatever you're doing. You're an astronaut, invest in yourself. If you're an athlete, invest in yourself. Don't spend money on belts.
Yeah.
And looking good. Like, invest in your craft. You're a comedian, invest in your craft. And that means investing in your skills, coach, whatever, podcasts, whatever needs to get you known, right? And then also in your branding and your marketing. Like, people have to know you, no matter how good you are. If I don't know you, it doesn't matter.
Right. So you got to get out there.
Yeah. How did you guys run into me?
How'd I run into you?
Yeah, how'd you find out about me?
Instagram.
Good. I invested a lot of money making sure that people see that Instagram account, right?
Right.
So, or energy, money and energy.
Right.
So invest in yourself first to become great at whatever you're doing. Number 2, start investing in your business if you hadn't done that already. And the third thing is start investing in things that'll pay you every month. So you buy a flow of income.
This idea that it takes money to make money is not true. It's a myth. It's the number one reason why I did the show, the Discovery Show, to debunk that on TV, that I didn't need any money at all. They offered me $100. I'm like, just keep it, dude. Like, no, we got to give it to you. It's part of the show. And I'm like, I don't need the 100. They're like, no, but you got to take the 100. It's part of the show. The entire 90 days, I never touched the first 100 they gave me. And this was to prove to people, dude, you do not need money. Like, it's not true you need money. You do need contacts.
You need people. You need relationships.
You need people. You need the right people, though. The right people that are already in play. Okay? Just because a guy's got money. I remember a billionaire friend of mine, he could buy a jet. And I said, hey, Bob, should I buy a jet? He said, you should, I shouldn't. Meaning, Grant should, and he's way wealthier than I am. He could have bought 40 of them. He's like, I don't have a place to go in mine. You could use yours every day. So you got to find somebody that's in place, somebody that not just has money, but somebody that wants to do more with their money. So you'll notice in the first 10 days, I don't spend any money. I don't spend money on shelter, not on food, and not on water. Nothing. Then what I do is I end up accumulating assets. And it's unfortunate that the viewer doesn't see this. Within 5 days, I have 2 vehicles. One was given to me by Discovery, and the other one was a $40,000 Jeep that I basically used from Ryan, this guy I met, and told him, I'm going to sell your Jeep. I'm going to drive it around town and put 10 miles a day on it, and I'm going to sell it. Well, that's a $43,000 asset. My truck was worth $4,000. I still had my $100. I lived in a $46,000 RV that I was trying to sell. So, what's the other thing I did? And I picked up $10,000 to do in a 15% partnership in the equity of the upside of this guy's company. So literally in 10 days, I was accumulating contacts that could get me equity. And the important part of that story is, man, go get you some equity. You know, Jay-Z talks about this. You're getting, you know, so many of you young brothers are getting an advance while I'm picking up the equity.
Showing up means showing up. It don't mean you got to the office. You understand? It doesn't mean you came to work. For me, showing up means I show up. I've been showing up since I was 25 years old, man. Before that, I wasn't showing up. I was showing off. I was acting a fool, being a fool. High school, I didn't show up. I went to class, I never showed up. My body went in the room. See, showing up doesn't mean you got there. Showing up means you got there, and then you showed up again, and then you showed up again, and then you showed up again. It means you show up for the class, you show up for the homework, you show up for the class, you show up for the homework, you show up for the test, you freaking get a perfect grade. It means you keep showing up to the next level. And I hear a lot of people talking about showing up, you know, showing up's not everything. Let me tell you something, showing up, when you show up the right way, Johnny, you got to put your seatbelt on. When you show up the right way, showing up is 100% a success. So you got to keep showing up. Showing up means you're looking for deeper levels to show up, to pay attention. That's what I do every day. Every day I come to work, I'm like, show up, man. Show up for every little problem. Show up for every little opportunity. Show up for every little nuance, little angle, little particle, little movement. That's why I see all this stuff. Why is that not cleaned up? Why is this not cleaned up? Why did somebody pick that up? Who's that new person here? Hey, you feeling all right today? How many times have I asked you that before? You all right today? I know it's the little things. It's simple. It costs nothing to do this. Show up. It costs you nothing. It makes all the difference. And it makes all the difference, man, showing up. You'll see things that no one else sees. And you know, the good news is anybody can do this. You just got to make a commitment to show up. The reason the guys on Wall Street and the gals on Wall Street make so much money, okay, it's not because they're like capitalists and they're terrible people. It's because they're surrounded by people that are making money, man. They're accountable by their stock price. They're accountable to their production. They got people around them that expect them to win and do well. And also they're going to dinner, waking up at breakfast, working out in the gym with other people that are winning big in life. Okay. So you need feedback from your environment and your network. Fifth thing you need is you got to have a network of people that are encouraging you to kill it. You got to have the right network. You got to have a LeBron in your game, man. If you're playing in the NBA and LeBron's like, I'm going to take you under my wing, bro. Okay, Kobe's like, hey, man, I'm coming back to be with you, man. What, would you deny that? Okay, Michael Jordan, I want to be with you, man. Mm-hmm. Tiger Woods, I want to golf with you. Come on, guys. What are you doing? You cannot do this alone. You cannot do this alone. Are you kidding me, man? Let's say you want to be a surgeon, and a top surgeon in the world is like, I want to take you under my wing. What are you going to be? I'm too busy. If you're reading a book, okay, you're listening to music, going to an event, speaking at an event. Let's say you're speaking at an event and it's the 700th time you did that presentation. You got to show up new again. Johnny comes to work with his camera, and we're doing a show today. Johnny needs to show up new, looking for new angles, new colors, you got to show up every day new, folks. You're new, man. You're new. Ladies and gentlemen, you're new. Every day you're new. Or, guess what? You're old. Nobody wants old. I don't want to get old. I don't want stale. I don't want yesterdays. I don't want leftovers.
I know when somebody's repeating something rote. They're just giving me the same. I don't mind some bullshit, but it's got to be fresh. I need some fresh bullshit. So I don't mind a little bit of bullshit. I just don't want the same thing. Okay, that guy's told that story 1,000 times, and it looks like the thousandth time. Not in a good way either. Last thing I'm gonna tell you is this, okay? Don't get stuck in mechanics. When I'm writing my goals down, I do not know how I'm going to do it. So I merely sit down. Like I remember for years I would write down, I own a helicopter. I don't even know where this concept came from. I own a helicopter, I own a helicopter, I own a helicopter. Every once in a while it would show up. It would show up on a Wednesday and not show up for when I'm writing my goals down, right? So I'm waking up in the morning, and I write my goals down. And one day I write, I own a helicopter. I think back then it was, I learned how to fly a helicopter, okay? It was stupid, it was completely ridiculous. I'm like, where did that come from? It just kind of floated into my mind. I wrote it down. Okay, I own a jet. I'm like, man, I'm just being stupid right now. I own a jet and 2 helicopters. I don't know how that happened. I didn't know anything about jets. I would not achieve any of this, by the way, until I was 54 years old. The first private jet I was ever on was the one we bought. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how they fly. I didn't know how they work. I didn't know what the cost of a hangar was. I know nothing. Don't get lost in the mechanics. I didn't know the fuel cost. I didn't know what it cost to buy one. Do you finance them? Do you pay cash? Do you get a tax rate? I knew nothing when I started writing this down. The helicopter would come after the jet. Okay, I bought a helicopter. I didn't know why. So the point of that story is, when you're writing your goals down, literally sit down with a blank sheet of paper, first thing you wake up in the morning, and you just start zip, 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 zip. You write through them. Like this morning I wrote down 40 billion in real estate. Okay, public. I write down one word. I'm going public. See, I know now that this is in present tense and or past tense. I write it in present or past tense. I'm going public. Okay, I wrote down recently a congressional hearing. People are like, what's a congressional hearing? Dude, I'm so big now, they called me into Congress. They're going to have a congressional hearing. They're going to drill me, okay? Oh, yeah, then I wrote this down, a political office. Now, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm writing that down. I don't know how to achieve that. I don't know what it would mean. I don't know what it looks like. I don't get stuck in the mechanics. Don't worry about it.
Commit first.
Commit first, man. Just keep committing it, keep fueling it, keep writing it down. I'm at the Hensel Castle today. Hensel Castle is a castellated mansion in the Gothic architecture style, dating from the late 17th century. Some say maybe the early 18th century. I mean, this has got history here. So here we are today in Wales talking about the attitude of service. One of the great rules of success is to give, give, give. The attitude of service is the rule of success that I promise you will deliver you at levels that you never imagined possible. It's what I built my career on. The ability to give at 100% and even more, and then keep giving. Nothing feels as good as giving. The more you give in life, in business, in relationships, the more you will get from that relationship, from your business, and from the world. Now, I'm not just talking about money and presence. How about energy? People ask me constantly, where do you get all your energy from? I get it from giving. How about money? The more money I give away to other people, whether it's employees or charities, the more money I'm gonna have. It could also be love or a smile or service or even education. When you wanna learn something, the best way to learn something is to start teaching it, sharing it with other people. Too many people today, they worry too much about what they get rather than what they can give to the marketplace, to their friends, to their families. When I have been most lost in my life, if I go into service, I will find myself, I will find my purpose again. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. If you don't have the money, the finances, the energy, if you don't have the friends you want, you're like, how can I give anything? I don't have anything to give. Everyone has something to give. Too many people have their hand out. Hey, what do I get? Too many people come to my office. What are you going to pay me, Grant? What are my benefits? Where's my office? Where's my desk? What's my view? People worry about the dumbest little things. You're always worried about what you get, and guess what? When you're worried and focused about what you get, you end up getting less. If you find somebody you want to work for, work with, Go to them and say, hey, this is what I'm going to give you. Let me do whatever you need done, and I will get it done. Trust me, you're not going to be taken advantage of. You're going to get more than you ever imagined. Give is one of the great rules of success. And when you give with sincerity and authenticity. If it's not real from you, if it's not authentic and genuine, if you're not there to give to lots of people, knowing a very few of them will reciprocate with you and do business with you, if you don't do that with sincerity, it won't work. The universe is set up this way. Look at the ocean. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. Everything works like this. You give and you will get back. You just have to trust it, and you got to get your presentation right. People know when someone truly cares. I remember the first business I built when I was 29, maybe 30 years old. I would knock on doors. Hey, my name's Grant. I'd like to come in and do something for your staff to improve their sales, to motivate them, to give them strategies. How much is this going to cost me, young man? Before anybody knew Grant Cardone. And I said, look, it costs nothing. This was my way of introducing myself to the customer. Not wanting something in that moment, but wanting to start and create a relationship. People would tell me, hey, look, is this legit? Is it really, really free? People are so untrusting. Why? Because they haven't given themselves. Nothing is as attractive as someone who is positive and someone that genuinely wants to make a contribution. And we're not just talking about money here. We're talking about you contributing your heart, your energy, a smile. Look, when you pass a homeless person, somebody that actually needs help, and that homeless person says, hey, can you give me some money? And you're like, no, I'm not going to help you. How do you feel about that? If you give them something, even a smile, you will feel better. When you keep to yourself, when you don't take the time to give back, then the next few steps you take after that is you start to withdraw from people. Giving to others is like making deposits in a spiritual bank account. They will pay you back in the future.
Look, buying a jet was something I never dreamed I'd do. I never, okay? I only started thinking about it 4 or 5 years ago. When I'm young and broke, I'm growing up in Louisiana, middle class, being told, be grateful you got a bike. Be grateful you got clothes on your back and you get 3 meals. Be grateful for all that you got because you got it better than I do. I never dreamed of having my own damn jet. Whatever you have to do to keep your purpose burning hot, you do it. You borrow money. Okay? Use money. If it requires money, so be it. If you're truly obsessed, it will be worth it because you will get the results. You know, the secret to sustaining the obsession is a straightforward one. Focus your efforts on everything that will fuel you for the long run and ignore, eliminate, and block out anything that drains you or causes you doubt. Money, power, fame, success, all of them follow attention. So what gets the most attention is what will grow. The problem with these things is money, power, fame, and success, even time off. They require attention. They're like jealous lovers. They need constant attention or they're gonna leave you. How you invest your time is more important than how you invest your money. Being obsessed with your sense of purpose across every part of your life will allow you to accomplish all the things you desire. I think most people are not accomplishing what they want in one area of life because they quit on all the other ones. If you quit on all the other ones, how are you going to get this one to run? Nothing inspires me more than surrounding myself with people who have achieved more than I have and then meeting new people. The obsessed must surround themselves with people you trust and respect who think big, who've done bigger than you, and who can help you get to where you want to go. You think you can run only so fast? Time is no longer an excuse because the obsessed make time. They don't make excuses.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag Believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome. For 50 more amazing rules from Robert Kiyosaki, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
God designed us so when a baby learns to walk, baby crawls, stands up and falls, then finally takes the first step, and the next thing running, then flying. But what our schools do when a child falls,